Hello, Mark. This is Andy. Austere. Mrs. Stone's appearance was austere. She wore plain, quiet clothing with no jewelry, and she never used makeup. The walls in Alan's den are white and nearly bare, and his white furniture has simple lines. This austere decor gives the room a pleasantly calm mood. The asterisk. The instruction manuals that come with computer software often use such asterisk terms that they seem to be written in a foreign language. The poetry of Ezra Pound, filled with references to ancient Greek culture, is too esoteric for most readers. Facsimile. When a facsimile of an old Sears Roebuck catalog was published recently, it became a bestseller. People enjoyed seeing what was for sale a century ago. The word fax is short for facsimile. With a fax machine, you can send a precise image of a document across the country electronically in seconds. Grotesque. Most people found the movie character E.T. adorable. I thought the little alien was grotesque, with its weird combination of babyish features and old, wrinkled skin. The clown made grotesque faces, squinting his eyes, pulling down the corners of his mouth, and sticking out his tongue. Mesmerize. The intense eyes of the woman in the photograph mesmerized me. I couldn't take my eyes off the picture. When driving at night, you can become mesmerized by the lines on the road or by other cars' headlights or taillights. To avoid a hypnotic state, keep your eyes moving from front to side to rear view mirror. Metamorphosis. A caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly is a well-known example of metamorphosis. In Franz Kafka's famous story, The Metamorphosis, a man wakes up on his 30th birthday to discover that he has turned into an enormous insect. Notorious. Batman and Robin match weight with the Joker and the Penguin, who were notorious for their evil deeds. The local diner is notorious for bitter coffee, soggy vegetables, limp salads, and mystery meats. Perfunctory. The doctor's examination was perfunctory. He seemed to be just going through the motion without taking any interest in the patient. Most of the candidates were passionate on the subject of nuclear weapons, but one spoke in a very perfunctory way, apparently bored with the topic. Provocative. A good essay is provocative, said our English instructor. It gets the reader interested and attentive starting with the very first paragraph. To arouse the viewer's curiosity, the television ad began with a provocative image, a spaceship landing on a baseball field at home plate. Travesty. The fraternity skits, a travesty of college life, exaggerated and ridiculed many campus activities. The musical comedy version of Hamlet was a travesty. The critics and audience agreed that it made a mockery of Shakespeare's profound tragedy. Mesmerize, to hypnotize or fascinate, hold spellbound. Metamorphosis, a great or complete change, transformation. Travesty, a crude, exaggerated, or ridiculous representation. Mockery, perfunctory, done only as a routine, with little care or interesting. Performed with no interest or enthusiasm. Notorious, known wildly but unfavorably, having a bad reputation. Provocative, tending to arouse interest or curiosity. Facsimile, an exact copy or reproduction. Esoteric, intended for or understood by only a certain group, beyond the understanding of most people. Austere, without decoration or luxury, severely simple. Grotesque, distorted or strikingly inconsistent in shape, appearance, or manner. The trial was a travesty of justice because several of the jurors had been bribed. King Henry VIII of England was notorious not only for getting married 6 times, but also for ordering 2 of his wives executed. To capture readers' attention, an author sometimes begins an article with a provocative question, such as, "What do you think is more dangerous, climbing stairs or parachuting out of an airplane?" In some modern paintings, human figures are distorted into such grotesque shapes that it's hard to recognize facial features and body parts. Lining the music school's hallway are framed facsimiles of handwritten pages of music by great composers. Legal documents are usually worded in such esoteric language that most people need a lawyer to translate the legalese into plain English. As I stood looking at the grandfather clock, I became mesmerized by the shiny pendulum that swung back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Usually, the therapist showed great interest in the patients, but today she was too worried about her own family to give more than perfunctory responses. My sister's dormitory room is rather austere, with cement block walls and bare floors, but she's made it less stark by hanging colorful posters and adding bright bedspreads and cushions. The magician David Copperfield does a trick called metamorphosis. One person is chained and locked in a box. When the box is opened, that person is gone, and someone else is chained there instead. The political cartoon showed the judge as a grotesque figure with a huge belly and a gaping mouth. To me, it's unfair. a travesty of journalistic ethics. The, the cat burglar in the film, notorious for stealing expensive jewelry, committed all his robberies wearing an austere outfit, a black t-shirt, plain black pants, black shoes, and black gloves. The novel has a provocative opening scene in which a young woman and her parents sneak out of a house on a ladder. The novel goes on to mesmerize the reader with one spellbinding episode after another. Former principals had made only perfunctory efforts to rid the school of drugs. But the new principal attacked the problem head-on. As a result, the school has undergone a metamorphosis from hooked to clean. At the jewelers' convention, facsimiles of several famous gems were on display. I enjoyed seeing them, but I didn't understand the accompanying aesthetic explanation of the technical methods used to produce the copies. On the afternoon of a friend's New Year's Eve costume party, I made only a perfunctory effort to put a costume together. Unenthusiastic about spending much time on this, I wanted to do something as simple as possible, even if the effects would be rather austere. I decided on a ghost costume, just a plain sheet with eye holes cut out. Since all my sheets are green, I had to be the ghost of a frog. The party began for me with a rather provocative encounter. The door was opened by Julia Roberts, clutching her best actress Oscar, or at least a very good facsimile of it. Then, when I went inside, the first men I saw were two notorious pirates, Blackbeard and Captain Hook. I listened it on their conversation, expecting to be mesmerized by fascinating tales of cutthroat adventures. Instead, I heard only the esoteric language of two math majors. Giving up any hope of understanding their remarks, I looked around for my own friends. But their metamorphosis from ordinary people to famous or odd people was so struck me as a travesty. A person dressed as Abraham Lincoln, a president I venerate for his character and leadership, was wearing a bull's-eye target, in crude mockery of President Lincoln's assassination. Another person looked frighteningly grotesque, with a mouth twisted to one side and three eyes, all of different sizes. In the course of the evening, I also met Cleopatra, Shakespeare, and Snoopy, among others. I may never again spend time at a gathering replete with so many celebrities. Okay, this is the end of the vocabulary part. Bye, Mark.